be talking about we will be talking about all our different projects and courses and programs that we have. So our main programs is the one where we're associated with Les Roches for the hospitality program, the second best hotel school in the world. And then we have also a partnership with NCUK as well as being what we call a Pearson Center. So what I would like to ask everyone, if you could please put your microphone on the silent. And then if you have any questions, we have a Q&A section at the end, and then we'll be very happy to take the time to answer all of your questions. But for the beginning, I will just go through the entire presentation together with my co-presenters, and after that, we can answer. If during your time you want to ask questions directly, what you can also do is you can also use the chat. And with the chat button, you can answer the questions, and also the team would be very happy to answer your questions directly there. And by using the chat, we'll be coming back to it at the end of the conversation as well. All right, so this done. So let me quickly introduce myself. So my name is Chris Melhan. I am the Chief Operating Officer of AIM, the head of the school. I have a background as an hotelier also from education. So I studied and worked at EHL. I also had a little bit of an experience in hospitality where I worked in Thailand a few years ago for the Amari Hotel. I also worked at the Hilton, but for now almost 20 years, I've been in education, in hospitality specifically. And as you can see, I have two little Apple logos there. So I'm not work for Apple, but I am essentially an Apple trainer and an Apple distinguished educator, someone who uses Apple technology to enhance my class. So this has always shown a little bit of my interest of how to use technology to make learning engaging. So together with us, we have Angela from Myanmar. Angela, would you like to say hi?
Hello everyone, it's nice to have you all here today.
So introduce yourself. Who are you, Angela?
So I am to be attending the BBA semester 3 when the school reopens. I have just finished my internship in Anantaradiku, Maldives, and I have just got back to Thailand. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So Angela will be sharing some of her experience for what she has as a student, also an internship and so on. So originally you're from Myanmar, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. And also joining us, not from Thailand, originally from Thailand, but currently based in Hong Kong, is Tyler. Hello, Tyler.
Hello, great to see you all.
How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Very good. Can you tell us a bit about you, please?
All right, so my name is Tyler. I am from Thailand, as you can see. And right now, I just got into my second internship, which is semester 5. Yes.
Very good. And how is it going?
Well, it's so far so good. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Tyler. All right, so we're going to ask my co-presenters to intervene so you can get the direct experience from the students directly. All right, so AIM, what is AIM and who we are? So AIM stands for the Asian Institute of Hospitality and Management. We are a private university that has been founded now 5 years ago by the minor hotel groups. We started purely as a hospitality management school onto the BBA, but currently we have a few more programs that I would like to talk to you about. So AIHM is a little bit of a mouthful. So that's also the reasons why we internally or everybody, we prefer to call each other the school AIM. And it allows us to play also with the word aim. So rather than, so we want to aim to go somewhere, right? So use the verb in there. And then our motto is what we call aim higher. So whether it's our lecturers, whether it's our students, whether it's our team overall, so everybody at AIM, part of the overall community, tries to aim higher. So what does it mean? It means that we have aspiration to really look for academic excellence. We want to be make sure that everybody is curious and wants to learn forever. So this aspiration of being a continuous learner. We have ambitions. We want to become the first choice when people think about hospitality management in all over Asia. So we want to have people to welcome to come to us. We believe in quality. Everything we try to do the best we can in terms of the way we do presentations, the way our teachers work and make their classes, but also the way the students actually work the best they can in order to do great quality assessments and presentation in the class. We also build a community of students, community of anybody that is AIM, a community of alumni, people who leave us and go back of the industry. And then again, it's always about building the leaderships of tomorrow. So this aim higher really kinds of guides us in terms of everything we do in order to always do the best we can in order for our students to be very successful in their career. So why AIM is a great choice? So all the pictures you will see actually are current students from this group. So all the students have actually just finished their studies. Some of them have been to Europe and graduated from Switzerland in either Spain or Switzerland. And some of them decided to complete the BBA with us and graduate with us. So it's a great cohort of students and a great example of who they are and how successful they've been. So the first thing at AIM that we have is that all our programs are international quality and follow an international standards. So whether it's the hospitality program together with Les Roches, whether it's in the NCUK or the Pearson program in the UK, it's all focusing on this kind of international quality education. Everything is taught in English. The language on campus is English. I really try to encourage everyone, or I encourage everyone to try to speak English. For example, they're walking around the campus and around the corridors. And of course, everything that happens in the class is done in English as well. And the teachers have a clear instruction that they have to teach in English. So it's really full immersion in English language to make sure that everyone is fully international, fully versed into it. So when they start for their career and their first interview, it will be a great asset for them. And again, throughout our different programs, we also give the option for students to transfer in different countries. So through our hospitality program, students can go to Switzerland, or they also can go to Spain, where the Les Roches campus are established. And otherwise, for our general business program with NCUK, students have a chance to transfer to countries such as the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and even the United States. Also, something that we do is we offer what we like to call a solid career path. So we are working very closely with a hotel company called Minor. And with Minor, we are actually located directly on the campus of the hotel, the Avani Plus by Riverside Bangkok. And then when students are studying with us, they got the opportunities as well to integrate and network with people from Minor of the hotels and the corporate office. We also offer a career fair twice a year where Minor hotels, but also all around 10 to 12 different hotel companies are coming to speak to our students to be employed there. And then we also focus a lot on what we call the soft skills. So making sure that the students can present very well, that students can speak very well, present themselves, which is also very important, and not just be strong academically, but also be strong in terms of knowing how to interact, how to talk, how to be. And this is also a very important skill. So who is Minor Hotels? So Minor Hotels are our founders. Minor Hotels is a company established in Thailand. It's the 10th biggest hotel chain in the world with around 560 hotels established everywhere. So whether it's in Asia, but also in the Middle East, in Africa, in Europe, South America as well, and also very soon starting in the United States. So a completely global presence as well. What is it? However, this is not really what we are here for to understand the hotel company, but what is important to understand is what you can actually get out of. So whether it's from a career, also from an internship perspective, Minor has 10 different brands, really, again, as I mentioned, worldwide, which means that our students on a hospitality program have a lot of outcome and a lot of places where students can actually graduate and intern. whether it's again in Thailand, in the Middle East, in Australia, in Asia, in Europe, and so on. So this is really one of the big advantages that we offer to our students as well. Also, something else that we really believe in is the dynamic learning style. So typically, we are using all the best teaching and learning techniques that are used in Europe and really modern pedagogy. So our curriculum balances into practice and theory. So we avoid sitting in a class where our students get bored and fall asleep listening to theory. But our teachers are versed and trained and are really focused on making sure that all the classes are fun and interesting. So here you see students playing Monopoly, but they're actually not playing Monopoly. They're actually learning accounting. So they're doing accounting, they're learning how to do it, and then they're putting into practice. You see students at the bottom learning a little bit about room service and learning about hospitality. And then typically, rather than just listening to the teacher, they use some video based with simulation, they do role plays, they do exercises. So when you sit in the class at AIM, you're never really bored. And then our classrooms tend to be small, whether we start with what we call the practical arts. We normally have maximum group of students of 20. And when we come to the academic side, we're looking at a maximum class size of 30. And that's kind of also, the learning is fun and interesting. And then finally, we have a very cosmopolitan community. We have students from really across the world, not only from Asia, but we also have students from Europe. We also have students from the United States who came all the way, students from East Asia, like Japan, who's joined us. So a very broad, multicultural students body of people who interact with each other. Same as the faculty, we have students from teachers rather, from really all over the world. And meeting and talking there. So we have currently 300 students enrolled for all across the program, from mostly the bachelor students from Les Roches, a few students from the PGD as well. And then we also have 30 different nationalities. So 30 different nationalities make sure that we have this cosmopolitan community that we have. So we have students from Thailand and Myanmar, being our two biggest nationalities, with Thailand slightly above Myanmar. And then after that, we have students from Russia, students from the Maldives, students from Sri Lanka, if I look at kind of the biggest number. But then, as mentioned before, we have a lot of students with two passports living in Thailand. So students from English Thai, Australian Thai, and so on. And then we also have students all the way from Europe who decided to travel to Thailand to study hospitality or to study with us at AIM. So again, very international group of students, very international setting, international teachers. So it is what is the opportunity. All right, and here are some of the pictures of our campus in action, where you see students at the reception, outside by the hotel, working in the kitchen or in the classroom directly. So let me talk first to you about our different academic partnership. So our key program and our key partnership is with Les Roches. Les Roches focuses on hospitality management, and with them we have 3 different programs. We have the bachelor, a certificate program, as well as a postgraduate. So these are the main courses that we offer, and I'll explain to you a little bit later. Then we also are a Pearson Center. So Pearson is an English qualification quality system based from the UK. You mostly have, if you've done your IGCSE or you've done any other courses, you might have seen Pearson in your certificate. It's the biggest education provider worldwide. And what they also allow us is to deliver some courses that are certified by Pearson. So we offer a subsidiary diploma in business in what we call level 3. I'll explain to you in a minute what it means. We're also partnering with a company called NCUK. It's a consortium based on the northern UK universities that covers around 90 different universities worldwide, and typically offer a program called a foundation program, or internationally one, that allows students to start here in Thailand and then after that transfer to the UK, to Australia, to New Zealand to continue their study, typically if you are not interested in studying business. And then we have also our own executive education program, which is not why we're here to talk about it. So let's start with Les Roches. So Les Roches is currently the second best hotel school in the world. according to the QS ranking. One of the reasons why AIM was founded, AIM wanted to offer a same quality education that what is offered to Switzerland when it comes to hospitality education. When you think about it, whenever you think about quality hospitality education, a lot of people think about Switzerland. But not everybody can afford Switzerland, and not everybody can afford the full journey of Switzerland or Europe. So what we've done, we have decided to focus first and foremost of offering a quality education similar to Switzerland, but here in Thailand. And to do that, we partnered with Les Roches in the Academic Association. So what does the Academic Association mean? It means that it's all about partnering the best of two worlds. It's looking at the Swiss quality education and standards, what they offer in Switzerland, but also focusing on Thailand. And Thailand is very, very well known for being the land of smile, the land of hospitality. Thailand offers a big array of hotel companies from all the major brands that are present here. And then learning really from the best of both through the practical and the internship and the Swiss quality systems as well. And to make sure that we do offer the same quality as Switzerland, or how I can say that, is that we have a quality audit right away. So, meaning that every year you have Miss Ivana and Mr. Carlos. Miss Ivana is the Executive Dean of Les Roches in Switzerland. Mr. Carlos is the Executive CEO of Les Roches. They come every year to visit us, to audit us for a week. And they'll be looking at the quality of our program. They'll be looking at they'll be talking to our teachers. If I could please ask you to mute, that would be quite so kind. Thank you so much. And they're looking at the quality of our program. They talk to our teachers, they talk to our students, and again, to make sure that the quality that we offer from an academic standpoint is really of a similar quality, similar philosophy as what they offer in Switzerland. And this is something that we've done and have achieved, and we're very proud of it, because the students who've gone to Les Roches and graduated in Switzerland actually have achieved the same grade levels than that they had in Bangkok, than what they've achieved when they went to Europe. So these are just 3 students who transferred. So Nimi, Pira, and Miu, who transferred, the 3 of them, to Switzerland, if I'm not mistaken. And all of them really, from whatever grade they had in Switzerland, they had the same grade here same grade in Thailand, they had the same grade in Switzerland, apologies. And for example, Nimi in the middle, when she transferred to Switzerland, she actually ended up being the valedictorian. She ended up being the very first students of the cohort, including all of the Les Roches students. So again, just as a proof to show that our students are very well prepared when they decide to transfer. So let's talk a little bit more into our BBA, into what is the program and how we prepare them. So our program is divided into 7 semesters, following exactly the same structure as Switzerland, very same structure as Europe. We have our students starting first with what we call the practical arts, followed by an operation internship, then come back for an entire year in academia, then going for a second internship, and then going to finish with the final year to get their BBA degree. If a student decides to transfer to Europe, Spain or Switzerland, they would follow the same structure, but they would finish at semester 5. And after the second internship, they would transfer to Europe to continue the study with Les Roches and then graduate with a Les Roches degree. So what is practical arts as we start? So we follow the same philosophy as Switzerland in every hotel school. One of the key philosophy of hospitality management is, if you want to study and work in hospitality, you need to understand what hospitality is. You need to know what it means to offer a great customer experience. You know what it means to work frontline and to talk and guests with customers. And then essentially to offer a great customer experience in a hotel, you have F&B operations, so you need to be able to customers in a restaurant. Culinary, you need to know a little bit how to cook and how kitchen function. You need to check in and check out customers, and need to do guest relation and concierge. Make sure you know how to work with the customer. And then also you need to know about everything that goes into the front desk. On top of that, you need to know about mixology. You need to know a little bit about wine and so on. So this very first semester, following again the same structure as Les Roches in Europe and Spain, it's all about acquiring those skills. So every student spends around 3 weeks in each different department and learns how to cook, learns how to serve, learns a little bit about wine, learns how to do check-in and check-out, and then goes through a rotation like that, and that really prepares them to, and then after that, go into their internship. And also, something interesting to know about us is that we are located within a five-star hotel. So our students also take advantage of the hotel to also put their skills into practice. So they learn on campus with our teachers, but afterwards, evening when they are, for example, in the culinary, they would also go to the hotel and work directly into the kitchen of the hotels. Same for the service as well, same for housekeeping. So now I'd just like to ask our guests to come and share the experience. So Angela, you just finished a year ago or 6 months ago, finished your
Six
practical arts.
months. 6
Would you like to
months. No.
share? Yes, exactly, 6 months ago. You finished 6 months ago. You started a year ago.
Yeah. Okay. So when so the reason I chose AIM is because when I was still in Myanmar, I was looking for a university in Thailand, and then I actually went to a education fair, and then I found AIM Myanmar from there, and then at that time I didn't really know what hospitality was, but I was interested because I love making people happy. So I thought I'm not going to choose any other course yet, so why not give it a try, right? So I thought, okay, I will try the first semester, and if it's not for me, I can always start again, right? But I never looked back since, because after I chose hospitality at
Happy to hear that.
yeah, because after I chose hospitality at AIM, I felt like I really belong, and I don't really know what I would be doing right now if I wasn't at AIM. So yeah, and then we started the practical arts. My favorite subject would be the housekeeping,
Huh?
because when we make the decorations and we tidy up the room and we personalize the bed decorations, the guests would be really surprised, and they most of the time the guests don't expect to have the bed decorations done for them, especially if it's birthday. Sometimes they don't even tell us their birthdays, right? But we have the information, and so we proactively decorate the room, so that can really elevate the guest experience. So I will move on to, and then I found out that I was not the best in the serving, because I have shaky hands. But other than
Okay.
that, I did well in everything. Yeah.
All
And then
right.
I chose
Thank
to
you so much.
intern in front office. Yeah. Thank you.
Let's talk about your internship in a second. Tyler, do you remember your practical arts semester?
Well, yeah, I sort of do. Yeah, I do.
All
So
right.
basically, yeah, practical art is like it's like yeah, dip it's like it's a good starter to get into the hospitality industry as a whole. And like what I like about practical arts, like as it's in the name, it's you get to learn a lot of like practical skills such as F&B and FO, and the thing is we get to interact with actual guests. So that pretty much, although that leaves us out of our comfort zone, it encourages us to gain a genuine experiences, which will be very beneficial in the future. Yes, and my favorite subject out of practical art is F&B, because you get to interact with the guest like in other departments, but what sets F&B apart is that you get to also learn about like different kinds of food, different kind of items in the menu, and I believe that is very interesting because I get to jog my mind a bit on menu knowledge. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tyler. All right, so let's move on to the second semester, what is the professional internship. So here you can see picture of students. Most of them like to work at the front desk, as you can see. Whether they work for NH, they work for Rosewood, they work for Hyatt, they work in the Maldives, Peninsula, and we have some students who decided to work in the kitchen. Some students also work in F&B in the Maldives. So here it is really up to the students to get the internship they want and where they want to travel, and where they want to work. All our students are working in luxury hotels. Some students decide to go for the big brands like the Four Seasons or the Peninsula or the Anantara. Some other students decide to go maybe more for a four-star type of experience or a smaller boutique hotel. But all of them have great experiences. And what is also important to understand is our students need to apply for the job. So we just not we don't place you, but it's a choice that you have to make. So where do I want to go? Do I want to stay in Thailand because I'm more comfortable? Do I want to go to the beach in the Maldives to see what it's like to live in paradise? Do I want to be working at the front desk? Again, it's all the different choices you make. And then you have to start applying. We prepare you, of course. We make sure that we sit down with you. We decide on what you want to do. We coach you. We say how to prepare your CV, prepare your motivation letter, prepare you for your interviews. You'll do the interview online, and the employer will give you an internship. And then you have to go there and start doing your internship and learning from there. And then also our team is there to support if needs be. If you are happy and everything goes well, then we leave you alone to experience your very first professional experience. Soma, the question I very often get is, are we getting paid? And again, it really depends on each property, and it depends very much on each hotel and destination. Some of them will pay you a short stipend fee. Some of them will offer you accommodation and food. Some of them will give you. So again, it depends on your choice of what you want to do, and that's part of the negotiation that you have and the choice of company that you want to work for. Angela, where have you been? I think you've been living the dream, or at least in theory, right?
Yes, I was in the Maldives in the last 6 months, and it really was a paradise. Yes. So, should I start?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. So where did you choose the Maldives and what did you do?
Okay, so towards the end of the semester, the first semester, I was really torn between going to housekeeping or the front office. At first, I was leaning towards housekeeping because I want to work in a quiet environment, right? But then I thought, why not step out of my comfort zone and meet the guests, like interact with the guests. So I chose the front office. I chose to intern as the receptionist at Anantara Maldives, and I was really out of my comfort zone. At first, I thought, did I make the wrong choice? But when I really think about it, that's when growth happens, right? Growth only happens when you're uncomfortable. So after 1 or 2 months of struggling a bit, I got the hang of it. And actually, I felt like 6 months was a bit short for me because I started to really enjoy being a receptionist there. And the reason I chose the Anantara Maldives is because of the food, accommodation, and everything is provided. And then I also get allowance. So as a student myself, I need to consider the finances, right? So that was a win for me because during the 6 month, I didn't really spend anything. But well, Maldives is an island nation, so they don't have high-rise buildings and a lot of things to go to. But it was a transformative experience, really.
Fantastic. Exactly. Thank you, Angela. So yeah, students normally when they're gonna come back very soon, we're gonna start our new intake in I mean basically uh, in 9 days. So we're gonna see the new students, and after that, on the 20th of April, we're gonna have students coming back from the internship. And in general, when we see them again coming back from, we see them so much more mature. Always had a great experience. Happy to be back as well. So it is really good to see. And it's true that having the internship very early on, it is a very first experience, maybe a bit difficult. And as you said, going outside of your comfort zone, but at the same time, going through your comfort zone, that's what helps you grow and helps you transform and growth. And that's the reason why it's good to have it here. And then after that, when you come back, now we're going into business studies. So it is a full year divided in two semesters, semester three and semester four, when you learn everything about business. So people always ask me like, "Oh, I want to learn business. I don't want to learn hospitality." But it's you basically are learning business, but in a hospitality context. So if you go into a business school, you would learn marketing, you would learn accounting, you would learn finance, you would learn human resources, you would learn strategy, you would learn sustainability, you would learn kind of all of these ones. So here you learn the same ones, the same course, but you learn it with the hospitality context. So marketing for hospitality, and not just hotels, but really the hospitality and tourism industry as a whole. You learn about leadership and human resources, again, for hospitality. You learn innovation, again, for hospitality, and so on. So semester three is the introduction of all these different concepts, and semester four is going a little bit more advanced and also learning some of the management courses that are typical to the industry. So again, like for F&B management, what does it mean to manage your own restaurant? How does it mean to be the owner of your own restaurant? What do you need to think about? What about revenue management? So how do you play with rates? You know, when you take an airline, every day the rate keep on changing because they're using revenue management. Hotels do the same thing. So how does it work? How do you make rates? How do you play with that? Digital marketing. Again, today it's all about TikTok and Instagrams and getting people from online to come and join you. So that is also being taught during those courses. So this is business studies, hospitality context for a full year. Tyler, let's not review every single course because that would be a lot. But if you could tell us maybe your two favorite courses, one in semester three and one in semester four.
Okay, so one in semester three, which I found interesting. It's Please give me a moment. I
Me.
would say accounting
Okay.
or and economics. Yes.
And why is that?
Well, it's because basically these are how do I these are these are very essential to know when you are running a business,
Mm-hmm.
because basically accounting is like it's like the language of business, and as you said, this is a business study, so I would say this is arguably the one of the most important subjects to know. As for economics, it links to it like links the business to the outside world and how it works. So you could like plan your business accordingly, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why those two are my personal favorites, because it's basically a deep dive on how to run your business. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, great choice. Exactly. So running a business, doing accounting. Again, people sometimes have bad memories of their mathematics and algebra courses. So again, don't worry when you talk about accounting and you talk about finance. Yes, we talk about numbers, but it's really understanding the simple arithmetic of plus and minuses and divide, and really it's only that, and it's really focusing on really counting your money in, your money out, kind of where you invest, how do you make sure your investment goes around, and now you make sure that you have a profit and not a loss. So that's really the key focus of this course. Then it comes to the second internship. So the second internship is what we call the professional internship as well. In general, we ask students to really think really widely about the industry. They needs to be still related to hospitality and tourism, but it can be in a corporate office. So you see some students going to the minor international office. It can be in marketing. It can be into project management. It can be in human resources. It can be in finance, but it also can be what we like to call front of the house. For example, students working at the front desk in Rosewood, Hong Kong. But at the same time, we want to encourage the students to gain some leadership experience and shadow a manager to understand kind of what does a manager or supervisor do? How do you motivate the team? How do you talk to the team? How do you see how the team is operating and so on? So kind of make sure that every student learns a little bit more. And the same rules apply. You look for your own internship as well. You go wherever you want to go, you have to apply. And again, it's also important to start thinking a little bit about your career in terms of, oh yeah, I really would like to work in marketing. And then the students actually went to work in the marketing department and realized that, oh, marketing is fun in class, or it's fun when we watch advertising, but actually working in the marketing department, she really didn't enjoy it. So when she came back, she decided that's not actually where she's going to do her career. So this also is a great experience for everyone to see kind of how they want to grow and where they want to go. So Tyler, tell us where you are for your semester 5 internship.
Well, for my second internship, which is my current internship, I am in F&B actually. Well, I'm trying to seek out the management aspects such as keying the POS, point of sale system, and like around the beginning, it's it's like I couldn't say too much at first, but yes, I'm still seeking experience.
But tell us where you are
As in my
and the
depart.
location, in which country are you, in which company are you working for?
So yes, my so like I'm in Island Shangri-La, Hong Kong. Yes,
Exactly.
and like the work culture. Yeah, I get to be in a different work culture, and that pretty much, and I believe, and it pretty much gets me out of my comfort zone, and yeah, I believe I will grow from that.
Exactly. So
Yep.
also our students are going to all the way to Hong Kong as well. This is also one of the destinations. And again, the feedback we're getting from all the employers as they really enjoy working with our AIM student for their language faculty, for their also their eagerness to work and to do well, to learn, to ask questions, to be curious, again, which is all the different aspects that we work on with our students. All right. And then after that, you come back for the final year, and then you will be learning the more and higher level of hospitality, which are focusing on like luxury value creation, consumer behavior, people conflict negotiation, strategy, and so on, which is kind of really building the kind of the last aspect of learning about your business and running a business as well. And you do that for a year, leading you to your degree. There's an interesting course as well that we like to give to our students, which is called the IHP, the Integrated Hospitality Project, which is a project where students actually learn how to be consultants and to work on project management. But students are working there over the same course divided into 3 different semesters on working in a group, understand what the project is, work as a team, and then delivering a presentation and a report, similar what a consultant do. And semester 3, semester 4 are done internally, where you work with a case study and where you lecture. But the semester 6, it's kind of your capstone project where you're getting a project coming directly from the industry. So we work with minor hotels, we work with the minor corporate office, we work as well with some other companies, and they bring us a project, as a real project, and they want students to work on that project and make a presentation to the person, to the customer at the end of the experience. So again, really linking practice and theory together as you're making a real project like you would if you then graduate when you're actually working in a hotel company. And then we need to expand on that slide because we have many more success stories, but this is our actual very first cohort of students who graduated. So we have Andrew, went to Mandarin Oriental, is currently in Switzerland, working for Mandarin Oriental. He just finished his management trainee. He did a year in Bangkok as a management trainee. They then went to Geneva to finish his management trainee for another 6 months. And now he's currently employed as a junior, a floor supervisor, which is a supervisory position at Mandarin Oriental in Zurich. So again, already a position, already outside of his comfort zone, all the way to Europe in a great position, and he wants to become a GM. So he decided to follow kind of the housekeeping route because again, for hotel, housekeeping is important. But he's not cleaning rooms. He's actually managing, organizing, training, motivating the housekeeping team. And it's a skill that requires a lot of organization, a lot of structure, a lot of support. It is not an easy job, but it's a great job to learn if in the future you want to eventually become a general manager. He works at Aman in Nai Bangkok. Aman is maybe one of the, if not the best hotel company in the world in terms of super luxury. They've opened a resort in middle of Bangkok called Nai Lert. He didn't want to go over the management trainee route. He wanted to work directly, so he went there and applied, became a receptionist, and after that he actually graduated. He actually for 6 months worked and then got promoted as a supervisor at the front desk. So again, got all the tools, all the right attitude, the right language to then be promoted, and again doing very well. And finally, Pop on the other side, he's interested by finance, so he really wants to work in finance. So he went all the way, worked outside of hospitality, then went back, worked for Mövenpick in the finance department, and also working as a supervisor. So the right critical thinking skills in order to be successful as well. All right, so that was all about our bachelor program. So if you have any further questions about the Les Roches hospitality program, I'm happy to answer them afterwards. Let's quickly talk as well about our other options. So we have what we call the AIM College. So the AIM College is looking at programs that allow you, students who, for example, have not yet completely finished with your high school studies, or maybe your high school studies were not as successful as you wanted them, and you still aim high to want to go for a topside university. So typically here at AIM, we can prepare you to do that jump. And that's the idea for us. It's kind of the AIM College. International education, high quality, high level, supporting you to be successful and making sure that then you can follow your dreams and go to the UK and be successful over there. And to do that, we have 3 different programs. So we have the NCUK, stands for Northern Consortium of UK Universities, again, focusing on getting you to the UK, getting you to Australia, getting you to Canada, and starting your careers over there. We also have the BTEC, which is what we call a pre-university program that would allow you to continue with us mostly onto the BBA, also would allow you to go and transfer. And typically, if English is still a challenge, because we have a minimum requirement of 5.5 on the BBA program, then we have this foundation program that makes sure that we bring you up to par to be able to follow into the programs. So the first program that we have is with Pearson, is what we call our subsidiary diploma in business, and it's what we call a level 3. You don't need to think too much about what exactly level 3 means, but level 3, it's typically your high school degree. So when you finish your IB, you finish your A level, you finish your GED, and typically, depending on in Myanmar, your matriculation, in Thailand, your Matayom 6, it is what is considered as a level 3. So some students come with us with an IGCSE, did not have the time or did not have the possibility to study that. They're not eligible to go on to our BBA program. So this is why we have this level 3 program that allows you in 6 months to cover what you might have missed. So then you can start and study onto our BBA. So this is really in class academic, but on a kind of a lower academic level. but to make sure to prepare you very well to then go into our BBA and then be very successful and then transfer to Les Roches as well, or other courses as well, but fully really going into our own BBA program. If you are missing skills, typically, whether you want to go into the NCUK or you want to go into a BBA, you need to have a 5.5. If you want to go into our NCUK, you need to have a 5. Again, these are what we call IELTS level, or B1 program. Some students are just missing that part. So rather than going into any other school, you can stay with us. And then for 6 months, you will have an entire course that is focusing on really building your English skills. And not just grammar and vocabulary, but really focusing on communication skills. Of course, you learn how to write, you learn about grammar, you learn how to read, and because it's also very, very important. But first and foremost, you'll focus a lot on talking, understanding. And as you can see in the picture, the students are facing each other because there's a lot of interaction happening between students in order to make sure that they're being then successful when they come into the program. So this is a great program for 6 months, fully immersed into the English language to make sure that you're being successful there. And then we have the NCUK pathway. So the NCUK pathway means for students who are not willing to study hospitality because they know hospitality is not my thing. But I would like to go to the UK and I really want to go to the top university. Okay. So now, depending on what qualification you had before, if you were to apply to a UK university, it is very much possible that the UK university will ask you to do a foundation program. So the foundation program typically is what we offer here at NCUK, with NCUK at a lower price. And if you don't have a challenge with your program and you go directly, but potentially you want to save money or you want to stay close to home for a longer program, you can stay in what we call the International Year 1, which covers the very first year of your studies. So that's what NCUK is all about. So in order to really create a program that would allow students from the Southeast Asia to then go and transfer and work and study in the UK universities from like Manchester, Liverpool, Bristol, and other universities came together and created this program. So it's the same program that is delivered really everywhere with our own teachers, but the exam and the course structure is really given us by NCUK to make sure that when the students have passed this course, then they are actually able to continue and study on to and be successful in the university program. So NCUK, again, it's a consortium, which means it's a group of all different types of universities. And then, for example, here you can see that you have a university that is part of the top 100. So top 100 best universities in the world with the Russell ranking. So for example, the Manchester University is a very famous one, a very strong, very, very, very good. University of Liverpool as well. You have RMIT University in Australia, which is a very strong, very famous university. University of Bristol also very good. I mean, all these universities on there are really, really good. Typically, these universities accept the NCUK either what foundation program or International Year 1 program, go to transfer and study there directly in business. So this is our focus and that's what we offer there. So how does it work? So depending on your background, depending on your grades, depending on what is the paper that you received as a high school, we'll be looking whether you need to do a foundation program or whether you can actually skip foundation and go in what we call the International Year 1. Study with us for an entire year, from October all to June of the following year. Do the exams of NCUK, which again, very similar to IGC exam, for instance. And then depending on your grades, then go to university of choice to study there. And typically, if you do the foundation program, you go to the UK and only need to study for 3 years. If you want to go do the International Year 1, you can study International Year 1 and only do 2 years afterwards. And that is really what it is. So foundation year, doing a year followed by 3 years in the UK. So again, when you think about if you are Thai students, a UK Thai degree takes you 4 years. So this is also very similar in terms of length of time. It is 1 year in Bangkok with us, transfer to UK, study for 3 years, and get a business degree directly from these great universities. or you have, and these are the universities and some of them that accept the foundation degree. And then as well, you've got the International Year 1, typically in business, and that's what we offer. So again, you have different courses at the International Year 1. So this is actually covering the equivalent of going to the UK for the very first year of study over there. Similar structure and logic. We have NCUK giving us the exact guidelines of what we're supposed to teach, what are the topics being taught, but it's still being the freedom for our teachers and lecturers to teach you the best to what makes sense for you. The assessments, the same. We have assessments that are built by us, some assessment by NCUK, but to make sure that once you passed on, then you're ready to continue and ready to be successful for the final 2 years of study that you're doing over there. And these are the universities that accept the IY1, International Year 1, and don't continue to you directly into study into UK and other countries. And also interesting to know, if you study, for example, the International Foundation Year here, with potentially the International Year 1 here, then what would happen as well is you would get lower price to study in Thailand rather than going into the UK. You basically essentially save half of the money, but also that some universities offer specific NCUK scholarship. That can vary again from £500 to £10,000. Some universities, for example, have given a scholarship where all the food and the F&B on the university compound as the rooms were actually covered by the university completely. On top of without that. So it's actually a good way of saving money and the way the different partnership works between university and NCUK itself. All right, so to come to an end to this presentation, when we have students coming from international students, so again, outside of Thailand, we have some pre-arrival support, and that happened to actually all the students. We have a chat group that students comes together. If international students need a visa support services, we have that. We make sure that you get all the paper so you can apply for an ED visa when you come here. And then we make sure we also have some pre-departure webinar in terms of what you need to know as you come in. And then so you arrive on Bangkok, you're fully supported. And then also when you arrive, we have the support that can be offered to you where you can pick you up at the airport. We can also offer you a special price arrival at the Avani Hotel where we're located. And then until you find your feet, find your apartment, and you can start. And then we have an induction week, and then you can go and start into your program. If you want to know a little bit more about what we do, so if you go onto our website, you will have what we call the Aim Higher blog, which is a blog post where we talk about what we do at school. So we have interviews from students. You have students who study in Switzerland and their experiences, students who already found a job and what the experiences are. We look at the overall aim in action stories that we have. So teachers talking about their courses. So it allows to understand a little bit more what we do, who we are, and where we're going. We also have student ambassadors, so you can actually directly chat with those students ambassador. Click on the QR code or just go onto a website, you will find the link, and we'll put you in contact with the students to actually directly chat with you. You can ask all the questions really from student to students to really understand what we do. Angela was an ambassador, for example, you can talk to her. And then if you want to know a little bit more, again, if you want to show to your parents, so I would encourage you to go onto Facebook. So it's kind of a bit more serious in terms of what we do and the experiences that we have. And if you want to know more from a student to students experience, I then encourage you to go on Instagram, because most of our content on Instagram is actually managed by our students and the content is created by our students. So you can really see again what students' life is really all about. And then finally, we also have YouTube. We have a lot of videos. We have testimonials there. We have different webinars that we've posted there as well. So there's quite a lot of content, campus tours, so you can see what the campus is all about. See also our teachers and so on. So there's also kind of a lot of content that is available for you to watch there and understand more about who we are and what we do. All right, so we accept application now until October for our next intake. We still have very last minute seats if you want to join us in 1 week, depending where you're located. But I think October is more reasonable for both the NCUK program as well as for our BBA. And that's kind of end of my time. So thank you very much. So we are the three of us, Tyler, Angela, and me, happy to answer any questions that you might have. So I have a question from Elia. If I, hello, Ella, are you still here? Yes, you are. So does your passport make a difference to which countries you can take an internship in? UK passport, you can go anywhere. So UK passport is a great passport for that because you can go to Europe, you can go to the Maldives, you can go really anywhere. So there's definitely not a problem. And then the second question was, where can we find more information about Pearson? So typically talk to our Kun Vanlapa, can get in touch with you directly and have a call to explain you the details of the BTEC. But yes, if you want to join us with the AIM BBA, with an IGCSE, you would need indeed to study with us for 6 months to go to the BTEC level 3. And then the subsequent semester, you can then directly study with us onto the BBA. You can speak to Vlad as well. Yes. You're most welcome. Any other question?
So I do have one question on behalf
Yes.
of our students. So if a student already have let's say a diploma in hospitality from a different school, so if they want to continue the study at AIM, do they have to start from semester 1 or can they skip?
No, so we don't call it skip. It's a good
Oh yeah.
question, but we don't. No,
Yeah.
it's we recognize we recognize prior learning. So typically, if you come from another hospitality school or maybe even to some extent another business school, you would just need to come to us, talk to me, or talk to our dean, Mr. Warren, and then we would be looking at your grades, look at your transcript, look at what you've learned, and then see where you can start into our program. So if you studied in another hospitality school and you already practiced the practical arts and you already have some internship, for example, you can skip all of year 1 and you can start in semester 3. If you are students coming potentially from a business school and you've already your first year covered business and so on, then typically what we can do, but you haven't done any practice, we would ask you to enroll into the practical arts or semester 1 to make sure that you learn about what this practice is all about. And then afterwards, you could skip your semester 3 and again go into semester 4 directly. But it's really a case by case basis. We would need to look at what you studied, where you studied, what you've achieved, what you've learned to make sure that whatever you've covered somewhere else covers the courses that are part of our own degree.
Thank you.
So Ella, another question about student stay in Bangkok. So we are located on Thonburi side of Bangkok. It's close to the Icon Siam, if you know what it is. It's slightly out. It's around half an hour from Siam Center, which is really in the center of town, of the downtown, uh, but sufficiently far away. And we're surrounded by a lot of different condominiums. And then we will, exactly, as Kun Malapa said, we'll provide you with a list of accommodations. So there are a lot of accommodations nearby, one from just literally behind me to some of them from 5 minutes by foot or 5 minutes by car. And you can come in and it's for different budgets and good accommodation options and so on. So not a problem. Accommodation is really not an issue, as is public transport. And again, one of the great things of coming to Bangkok, it's also a lower price as well in terms of cost of living of being in Thailand. Thank you for all these great questions. right. Any further questions? Or did we answer all the questions and give you everything you needed to know? All right, then. So, would like to thank everyone for taking the time and listening to this webinar. Please stay in touch. You can always contact us, and we can give you all the different information that you need in order to learn what you want to know about AIM and what you want to know about your potential dream of studying abroad. And thank you, Tyler, and thank you, Angela, for being here and sharing your experiences. And Angela, see you very soon in person on campus.
Yes, in 9 days.
9 days. And Tyler, good luck with your internship. I hope everything, I'm sure everything will go well. Enjoy the
Everything's going
experience.
very well. Yeah.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.